Hello students, today I'm going to start a new chapter, fractions. In this video I want to explain every point related to the fraction. Okay, so I'm going to start one by one. Okay, so first one is a fraction. Definition of a fraction. Means fraction is a quantity which expresses a part of a whole, and which you have learnt in your previous classes. Fraction is a quantity which expresses a part of a whole. Suppose I have taken one object, it is a whole, it represented 1. Okay, if I divide it into two equal parts, so can you tell that what is the value of this part? I have divided into two equal parts. Total is a 1. So 1 is divided into two parts, 1 upon 2. This part represented 1 upon 2, and this one is also represented 1 upon 2. So fraction is a quantity which expresses a part of a whole. So in a definition form, fraction is a number that can be written. Fraction is a number that can be written in form of a upon b. Fraction is a number which can be written in the form of a upon b, where a and b both are non-zero number. Non-zero means their value will not equal to 0. A and b both are non-zero numbers. Non-zero numbers are a and b both are a natural number. Okay students, and in this one, a is called numerator, and b is called denominator. So any quantity, if it is represented in form of a upon b or numerator upon denominator, then it is known as a fraction. Okay students, and then after I'm going to give that examples. Example is like 1 upon 2, 4 upon 3, 5 upon 7, 8 upon 9, and so on. There is a lot of fractions are there, and suppose same I have taken one part and divide it into a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 equal parts. I have divided into 8 equal parts. So can you tell this one, what is the value of this sided region? Total is a whole 1 and divided into 8 equal parts, and then after total number is 8. 8 equal parts. How many parts are sided there? 1, 2, 3. So this sided region is 3 upon 8 students. Unsided region is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the unsided region is 5 upon 8. In that, from 8, how many parts are sided? 3 parts. So 3 upon 8. And in 8, how many parts are unsided? That is 5 upon 8. This is also the example of your fraction. Now the classification of a fraction. Of fractions. Fractions are divided into many parts. So in that, first one, proper fraction. A proper fraction is the one whose whose numerator is less than its denominator. A proper fraction is one whose numerator is less than its denominator. Listen students, proper fraction is one whose numerator is always less than its denominator. Then always less than its denominator. For example, 4 upon 5, 6 upon 8, 3 upon 4, and so on. You can see this one. Numerator is less than denominator. So proper fraction is a one whose numerator is always less than its denominator. And this proper fraction, always remember that students, proper fraction is always less than 1. Proper fraction is always less than 1. Next one is a improper fraction. Improper fraction. Improper fraction. Improper fraction is a one whose numerator is always greater than its denominator. Numerator is always greater than its denominator. For example, numerator is always greater than its denominator. 7 upon 6, 5 upon 4, 3 upon 2, etc. Means that improper fraction is a one whose numerator is always greater than its denominator. And improper fraction is always greater than 1. Improper fraction is always, or in sometimes improper fraction is equivalent to 1 also. Means sometimes if it is written that greater than or equal to, the improper fraction is always greater than or equal to, numerator is a greater than or equal to the denominator. Also this case you also involve in this improper fraction. If numerator is greater than, then it is also an improper or equal to the denominator in some cases. So improper fraction is a greater than or equal to 1. Okay. Hello students, we have done that two definitions. Proper fraction is always less than 1, and improper fraction is always greater than or equal to. In sometimes it is equal to 1 also, means when numerator and denominator both are equal. In this case improper fraction is equal to 1 also. So third one is a mixed fraction. Mixed fractions. Mixed fraction is a combination of a counting number. Mixed fraction is a combination of a counting number and proper fraction. Counting number means that natural number plus proper fraction. It is a combination of a natural number and a proper fraction. Mixed fraction is a combination of a natural number and a proper fraction. For example, if I will take this one, 2 whole 1 by 4. 2 whole 1 by 4. 2 is a natural number and 1 upon 4 is a proper fraction. Okay students, so mixed fraction is a combination of a counting number or natural number with proper fraction. A mixed fraction is a combination of a natural number or counting number and a proper fraction. For example, this is an example for you students. 2 whole 1 by 4, 3 whole 1 by 5, 2 whole 3 upon 5. So this is examples related to the mixed fraction. So mixed fraction is a fraction, is a combination of a counting number and a proper fraction. Now this fourth one is a like fraction, like fraction, like fractions, like fraction, like fractions. Means like fraction in that a fraction with the same denominator, fraction with the same denominator are called like fraction. A fraction with the same denominator, same denominators, a fraction with the same denominators are called like fraction. For example, 1 upon 4, 2 upon 4, 3 upon 4 and so on, etc. Means that if the denominators are same, then they are said to be a like fraction. Or one more example, you will take this one, 2 upon 9, 3 upon 9, 6 upon 9. This is also known as a like fraction. Fifth one is a unlike fraction, unlike fractions. Fraction with the, here is a like fraction, same denominator. Unlike fraction, different denominators. If the denominators are different, then they are said to be a unlike fraction. Different denominators. Different denominators. If denominators are different, then the fractions are said to, then the collection of the fractions are said to be a unlike fractions. Example, 1 by 2, 4 by 5, 7 upon 9, 7 upon 9, 8 upon 10. Then they are said to be a unlike, because denominators are different. So collection of a different denominators, a fraction with the different denominators are said to be a unlike fraction. Next one is sixth one, unit fraction. Unit fraction. Unit fractions means that a fraction, fractions with the numerator 1. Fraction with the numerator 1. Fractions with the numerator 1 are called unit fraction. Fraction with the numerator 1. If the numerator is 1, the collection of a fraction, if the numerator is 1 in that, then they are said to be a unit fraction. For example, 1 upon 8, 1 upon 9, 1 upon 12, 1 upon 15. They are said to be a unit fraction. If the numerator is 1, whatever the denominator, it is not a matter. If the numerator is 1, then they are said to be a unit fraction. One more fractions are there. That one is the seventh one. That one is known as the equivalent. Equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions. If I will take the two fractions, if they represent a same part of a whole, if they represent two or more than two fractions, if they represent the same part of a whole, then they are said to be a equivalent. And how you will get that the equivalent fraction? By multiplying or dividing. By multiplying or dividing with a same non-zero number in numerator and denominator. By multiplying with the same number in numerator and denominator, what you will get it, that fraction is equivalent to the your first fraction. Or by dividing numerator and denominator with the same number, then whatever you will get it, it is also equivalent to the your first fraction. I will show you this one. Suppose here I have taken a 4 upon 5. I want to write one equivalent fraction of this 4 upon 5. So first case is by multiplying same non-zero number. Non-zero means that value is not equivalent to 0. With a non-zero number, I am going to multiply with 2 in numerator as well as in denominator. 4 2s are 8 and 5 2s are 10. Means that I get this 8 upon 10. This is a 4 upon 5. In that 5 parts, it represents 4 part, 4 upon 5, and this one is a 8 upon 5. Both are equivalent fraction. And if you want, you can check that if you multiply this one, first numerator and second denominator, and in this one, first denominator and second numerator, then in this case both are going to be equal. This way also you can check that, or by cancelling out this one 8 and 10 by 2, you also get that the same one. So by multiplying you will get that the equivalent fraction, or by dividing also you will get that the equivalent fraction. Suppose 8 upon 10, I am going to divide with 2. What you will get it? By dividing same non-zero number in numerator and denominator. So 8 is divided by 2, 4, and 10 is divided by 2, you get it 5. So 4 upon 5 is equivalent to 4 upon 5. So equivalent fraction, two fractions or more than two fractions are said to be equivalent if it represent a same part of a whole. Okay, and how you will get that equivalent fraction? By multiplying with the same non-zero number in numerator and denominator, or by dividing a same non-zero number in numerator and denominator. This way you can get that the equivalent fraction. Okay students, this is the definition, and I will attach that the PDF file related to this definition, and you will do that in your copy. You will write this definition in your copy. One more point is like a common fraction. Common fraction. Sometimes common fraction. Common fraction. The numerator and the denominator are the integer in a common fraction, also known as a simple fraction. So it is also easy that sometimes common fraction means that like a fraction which have a numerator and denominator, they are said to be a common fraction. This is given in your new book. Complex fraction. Complex fraction of fraction maybe in the numerator, if it is in numerator, complex fraction in numerator may be that contain a fraction, or in denominator it contain a separate fraction. Then it is all, or in both numerator and denominator both carry a fraction, then they are said to be a complex fraction. Means that 2 upon 4 upon 7 means that in numerator it contains fraction, it is known as a complex fraction, or it may be this 3 upon 5 upon 6. In denominator it contains fraction, it is also known as a complex fraction, or both numerator and denominator it contains separately one fraction, like a 1 upon 4 upon 2 upon 3, then they are said to be a complex fraction. This thing also I will attach to your I will attach in a PDF form. You will write it in your copy, students. Okay, then after this I am going to discuss some question how you will do that, how you will add that fraction, subtract that fraction, how you will write in a simplest form of a fraction. okay, in the next video. Thank you, students.